This is just a flow that I wrote down, things you need to know and never forget. Always remember, falling forward is not centered in our stance. A fall into the weight is not providing structure and is producing the physical to mental fall. The fall. Tempering oneself is activating our ability to fall back, pull back, slow down, move away from. From anything that might cause a downfall to the spine, your livelihood, a nervous system hit, your nerves being hit. When we numb ourselves from feeling, from processing our physical pain, pain becomes very easy to not at all feel, to ignore, in fact. If lifters don't start standing upright to the weight, we will see an increase in mental health issues to physical death, along with the minds collectively now stay within their fleshly disempowered positions in life, in every which way you can take it and think it. When the mind to body stay flexing, the tension becomes pain and nerve damage over time. Sometimes coming our future, most often. So it becomes the future, our future. How we train now is our future, pain or not. Say flexing. When I say when people stay flexing mentally to physically, I mean like showing things off, going for like the shiny, like just the showy lifestyle. You can have the lifestyle, but the like flexing of it turns into a physical flex of the body, and you can see it more so in like a bodybuilder, but it makes your body flex into a C shape. You literally are flexing all day long. So that's what I mean by flexing, mentally to physically. So when coherence is seemingly produced through anxiety and hyperperformance, mind and not body, when coherence is seemingly produced through anxiously performing mind and not the body, meaning the focus is on like physical things outside of the body and not like the physical body, like during training or outside of the gym, like specific habits, daily routines. The mind's only availability for coherence is in chaos and confusion. So that'll be like toxic relationships. That's going to be like toxic habits like gambling or drinking or anything that might like bring you lower. So yeah, that's the only way you'll find coherence. It'll feel like you have found coherence. Anxiously living in stress in a literal flexed position where the joints remain never stacked. Energy seeps daily until adrenaline and cortisol is required again through any kind of competition and admiration. So this is for everyone that's listening. The body follows the mind's lead, and so if you're always flexing, you're going to be in a C, a literal flexed position. And it's like, you guys, I mean, everyone's hearing me say these things in these videos, but it's like no one's caring. So when I say there's no shift meaning like Like if you're doing a back row on a bench, you're not gonna shift forward and come back. It's upright. That's the foundation. Or in a bicep curl, you're not gonna go forward and back. It's upright. That's the foundation. And so when I say fall back into your soles, your feet are going to remain flat, but at first you may have to train yourself to literally fall back into your soles and pick up the front of your feet. Most clients, I have to do that. I even have to keep doing that, you know, depending on what I'm doing throughout the day, like if I'm sitting more and whatnot. So, yeah, we don't want to counter the weight, meaning like shift with the weight pull. So there's no shifting, there's no swaying. We stay grounded and upright. On leg day, there's no shifting of the knee forward. The knee joint, all the joints, they're a ball and socket, so they just rock and roll, right? They do not move in space. That is not a function of the joints under load like that. It's a stretch. If anything, the joints rock and roll. They do not move away from the joint. This is serious stuff. There's no rib flare. There's no rib flare in the foundation of strength, meaning your ribs don't ever flare out. They are down and your core is activated and tight for a punch. And that the foundation of your training be half the weight that you can lift and structured for analysis, basically. Like you're studying your you're studying your mechanics and movement the whole time, literally micro moment to moment. So yeah, no rib flare. Chest press, chest flies, chest day, even back day on lat pull down. There is no rib flare in the foundation of strength. There is no back bend or arching of the back in chest press, lat pull down, shoulder press. Any day. No day is there a back bend, nor is there flexion under weight, which is what everyone's doing. No one's finding center. I would like to think that most of you have already created the belief that you are never going to stop training, no matter how old you get. Hopefully that's been embedded by now. So since knowing that, and because we have that idea embedded in our heads, there's no reason to rush the process, which means we have all the time in the world to make sure we critique ourselves properly when we're training for strength. Otherwise, it doesn't actually work. So that's going to be slowing down the tempo, slow enough for us to assess the reps, literally micro moment to moment, so we can assess the reps and change them before the set's over. Every rep should be progressively getting better, more connected. Core tight is ready for somebody to come up and punch you in the stomach. So if you're doing a lat pull down and someone were to come up and punch you and you couldn't take it, then your core is not tight and you're not training for strength. You're not training properly at all. The back bend is a gymnastics move, which is great to incorporate, but it's more of a stretch. It's nothing to do under load. And it's extremely dangerous on the spine and for the spine. The weight should be centered at all times. So that's like going to be on the cable machine, a pull back and not a hunched over and leveraging yourself into the movement. It's going to be externally rotating, chest upright, meaning the sternum is up, diagonally up towards the ceiling during your set, and your head is upright. And when strength training specifically, every movement is a proper plank under the weight. The spine is not contorted in any way. So it doesn't go from being near the bench or flat to the bench to into a back bend. These are energy leaks that have your body running on adrenaline and cortisol because of the positioning of your spine. The spine remains stacked, joint over joint. Feet remain straight, functionally. Both feet facing forward. Any external or internal rotation is for specific movements requiring agility. So it's a variation. A proper plank is going to be your natural positioning of your shoulders and hips if you're in a proper standing position. Some people will say that you're protracted, fully protracted in a plank, and I don't believe that. I believe there's a center position. It's basically right before you're about to go into a push-up, which is also subjective to whoever's doing the push-ups. Every body is choosing their own positioning according to their natural positioning throughout the day, whether they're sitting or standing. And this is all determined by how you're training under the weight. There are variations of the plank that are protracted. But the foundation is what I'm speaking of. Like, a true plank is not protracted. And it also is hands separated and palms up. Open. In external rotation. So the positioning of the ankles to knees to hips to shoulders affect the back to neck's connective nerves, leading to the mind control, meaning the mind. If the body remains offline outside of the lifts can become literally life-threatening. Providing structure requires focus on all of the trunk of the body during all of the movements. Not only is it life-threatening, which some of you guys are actually physically experiencing right now, as far as your spine goes, but it also ages the face and it changes the structure of the face. Alignment during your lifts changes the structure of your face. Like, the bones in your face are restructured. The bones in your body are restructured through proper contraction, through alignment, joint for joint. The whole Bible is about the body of Christ. So they're saying we want you to get into Christ consciousness so that you can have the body of Christ too, which was the most powerful body on the planet. Unfortunately, the unstructured body, the unstructured mechanics can look pretty good. The front portion of the body is, I would say, overdeveloped, and the back portion is underdeveloped, meaning this consistent lat, like flex into this lat spread basically, and training in a lat spread, which is not their body's proper positioning, is not the starting position of any sets, is not in a lat spread. The only movement that involves our face facing the ground is in the straight leg deadlift, and it's for brief moments. And then we come up and we're facing forward. No squats, do we ever? That's another thing. A lot of people use the bar. They put the bar, they do this low bar, like off the rack, right? Like setup, a low bar. So it's like halfway down the back. That's where they place the barbell. I do not do that. I put it on the very tip top of my back where you can actually balance it. Like, that's the tip top of the back, you know? It's going to be up on the top of the traps. You'll find people falling into a C shape using low bar. I advise most people to sit back into their heels and literally lift up their toes, because most people are falling into the toes during all movements, focusing on the front portion of the leg, the quad, what you can see in the mirror. All the mirror muscles are overdeveloped in every single body that I see. The mirror muscles, which is caused due to wanting to be able to see more, basically. It's like when you're looking at the mirror, you want to lean in, you want to go forward so you can like see everything. You even want to like bring everything forward so you can see everything, you know? It's dangerous to train looking at the mirror dead on. It's dangerous. There's no indicator of if you're doing it correctly or not. All it is doing is pulling all of the shoulder girdle up and forward in training a C shape. And when I say lift up your toes, I don't mean just your toes. I mean the front two balls of your feet, so that you're only literally on the two back balls of your feet. And I'm saying to train this way for like half of the movements. That's what I would say for everyone in general for the rest of your life. Yeah. Because it's just natural for the body to fall forward physically, on top of all the stuff mentally that's going on. Any sinful state is a fall forward, is a fall. Okay, so we're either growing up or we're growing down. Literally, we're either growing upward because we're stacking upward, or we're growing down. And we're growing down. We want to grow up. Everyone living with phone in hand, quite literally, I think that there's going to be a need for everyone to focus on their hand and feet mobility, toes, ankles, fingers. I stretch them daily. Like, I spend a lot of time on my feet and my hands, just keeping them mobile and being on them and strengthening them. That's another thing. During the lifts, the wrists should always remain straight, so there is none of this, like cupping the bar, like tilted wrists or anything. No, everything is ready for a punch. Everything is ready for a punch. That's going to be your ankles, your wrists, and your gut. Anytime you're grabbing any handle, you want the handle to remain in your palm. We do not use our fingers at all to lift any of the weight. If, in the lat pull down, your fingers start to slip, meaning you lose your grip, you fix the grip. I train in a way of like every 3 reps, I'm going to reset. Every 3 to 4 reps, I'm going to reset. So if my fingers start to slip, I reset. I strengthen my grip. I don't use my fingers. That's a variation. It's a way to strengthen your fingers. Yes, but we're trying to strengthen the grip, the palm grip. So everything is trained into a fist. Anytime you find yourself leveraging the weight, meaning like leveraging your body to help you with the weight, you are not managing the weight properly. I would like to say that only in your heavier sets that are when we would leverage ourselves. So like for me, on a seated back row where you're sitting on a bench, they usually have like the foot plates that come up and you can put your feet up, and so they're more like parallel with the bench a little bit. I don't do that. I put my feet down on the ground and I make sure my knees stay over my ankles and all the joints line up perfectly, right? So I'm sitting straight up, and I have the weight in my heels, and my feet are flat on the ground. My legs are loaded, and I'm barely touching the seat. Okay? I am not leveraging myself on the feet plate. Foot in the lat pull down, I normally don't use the secured lap, the lock-in for your legs. I don't use that until the heavier sets. Otherwise, it's almost like you're not pulling it. This is strength. This is building strength. So when you go to leverage the weight, it will be easier over time. Yes, but if we aren't utilizing the weight properly, we're just wasting our energy. That is not benefiting us. It's not like efficiently training. So we don't want to leverage our body to make things easier for ourselves, basically, is what I'm saying. I want to get it through the minds that anytime you're leveraging anything, you're trying to make things easier on yourself. You're avoiding true strength. Anytime you're trying to leverage yourself or someone else or something, that's what the process of leveraging is. It's making it easier on you only. Okay, so that would be an internal rotated positioning. Internally rotated positioning is the lat spread. Okay? That is not where we want to stay. Aren't training for control, for self-control, for full control over the weight, you are not training for strength. If you're leveraging the weight, you're not training for strength. It's like wearing a weightlifter's belt that tightens the core for every set. It's like wearing a corset. It's like wearing wrist straps. That's the victim mindset in the weight room. That's the victim mindset playing out. If you're doing leg day and your upper body has been purposely turned off by rounding forward into a flexed C position, you are not training for strength. Ever. If you're doing a pull-up and your legs are dangling, not even joined together, just dangling and or like jolting or like wiggling or any of these things during your set, you're not training for strength. If you're doing dips and the rest of your body is having convulsions, you're not even loading up your triceps. Say legs dangling, I don't mean just like straight down. That's fine. I mean dead. If your legs look dead and they have no feeling because you're focused on it being upper body day, you're not training for strength. Strength is a full body experience. So in every rep, in every set, you're thinking about the whole body. Everything is contracted and erected. It's like erected from the dead, basically. So it's not going to be folding, rounding, any of those things, especially under the weight. Like, you are off. You are off while you're training. And it's an extremely dangerous thing. I hope that eyes are being opened as far as the importance of the spine and what it's doing underweight. What I'm talking about is basically unchanneled energy during the set. So because the mind is so like kind of flustered and cluttered, it's unable to channel all the focus into that muscle. So it's like kind of like aftershocks that have been left behind, like unutilized energy that has been moving around the body. So basically when we're doing our sets, any movement, we're basically transferring energy. We don't really feel it or acknowledge it or see it because it's on autopilot for like walking and all those things. But during the lift, you can feel it. And we can now see it in the gym with people who are really good at it. Like we can see the energy flying around the room. But this is how the power is like leaking out of the body. That's one way, a power leak, an energy leak. So kind of like CrossFit pull-ups. You know how the body's like waving, right? That's basically what's happening, but it's manifesting differently. It's more of a like a jolty movement. It's a joltier movement. A joltier pull-up that involves the legs, and it's like the effort of trying to get up in the pull-up is all in the lower, like it's going down to the lower half and just kind of staying there basically because the lower half is dead. So it's not transferring up and down. It's kind of like, it's like a slow flow. It's like a slow drip of energy that isn't making it completely up to the lat. It's almost like the body's frozen, right? And the only thing that the person is thinking about is specifically like the tricep. But not the mechanics even. Just the feeling of a burn. That's all that the mind can think about and go for. Like burn or shake. And a professional doesn't train that way. They just don't. Maybe if they're like a heavier lifter, but their form is still superb. But when you're studying things, it's going to be a slow and controlled with an inhale and exhale for almost every rep. And you're generating the power from the core, from the center of your core outward. There's like a hesitation in the reps. And the reps that I'm specifically talking about, where the movements are jolty, where the body is moving, when, again, the only thing that would be moving in a tricep dip would be the hinge in the elbow, and it would move the body in space down. If there's any weird twitching or weird convulsing, or like a weird like back bend and then coming down, back bend and coming down, or like a wiggle up to the top of the pull up or in the dip, like I've seen like multiple of you guys train this way now that are watching. We need to correct this form. Your energy is dropping. That's why you outsource. Leveraging weight is due to a lack of self-regulation, of regulating the structure, of proper position, mentally to physically, in life and in the gym. This all plays a role. If we aren't leveraging in the gym, we won't be self-sabotaging as much outside of the gym. If we're not walking and training with a victim mindset, it won't translate outside of the gym. It will dissipate. This is how we reverse it. This is how we reverse the victim mindset. We train through fear and control. Yeah, literally. This is how we strengthen. Say fear, I mean fear to the muscle, fear to like the body. basically. So fear and control, fear and self-control. So challenge and self-control, structure and self-control. Like we build structure through challenging, through like fear and challenge and discombobulation or instability, like on a BOSU. Today I did handstands with my ankle weights on, which scared the living shit out of me. It took me forever to like finally do what I was doing, but I was there for a reason. I was doing it for a reason. It was scary to me because I felt completely out of control, because it's a totally different feeling having weights on your legs as you're flying up in the air, and it's like, you know, it gets momentum. Regulated fear tactics that we plan and sometimes don't plan and orchestrate to strengthen the body. The body has no idea what's going to happen, right? Not really. Like the mind is doing the planning. The body's just waiting. And as soon as you go in the gym, the mind takes the back seat and the body comes to the forefront in your mind. So there isn't thinking, there isn't emotionality in the gym. It's just logically feeling into the body. Literal feeling, which comes from the sensation of your fingertips, right? Your fingers around the bar, around the handle. That's the feeling and sensation, and in the hand, in the might of the... If we don't start teaching the youth about the adrenaline that they're running off of in the gyms, meaning when they're like mean to the girls to get their sets going, or like, I don't know, people get motivated when somebody's making fun of their appearance or something. I don't know, that's what it's like. It's like it's like they make fun of each other for motivation. It's like they cause drama for like some get up, you know, some get up and go, or attention, whatever it is. But they're running off of adrenaline, and it's just not safe. It's not safe because of what it's doing to the bodies. And we'll go into this now. I also feel like if more women were patient and they developed structure in the gym, they would develop the face that they would want to have, as well as men. If you're training right, you will, over time, develop the face you want. And there's things that you can do to change the face, too. Like strengthening the jaw and such. But the structure of your mouth and your face, like, it matters during the lift. That creates the face. The structure in the body creates the face. Which is why nobody has a cute face. They would if they were structuring the body during the lifts. But they're chopping the body up in pieces. So it's literally leg day. So they literally kill off the upper body day by rounding forward. Or vice versa. The lower body is dead. People just want quick fixes. So it's off to surgery they go. There are psychological effects to changing the face too, even just like makeup. Over time, it's like, I mean, you don't recognize yourself, of course, and there's an adjustment to it, but the reflection changes, and it's like, who are you anymore? To the mind. You're never going to probably think this consciously. Maybe some people might, you know, people who are like, you know, assessing their thoughts, but yeah, it's like, it's kind of a dangerous place to head. So that's why I'm focusing on all of this.